You think you know Pink Floyd, but do you know about the ghost that haunted the band for years? A ghost who created their sound, then disappeared into madness, and came back years later in the middle of a tribute song while it was being recorded. Before I get started, what other rock legends do you want to hear about? Let me know in the comments. And if you feel like buying me a set of guitar picks, there's a link in my bio. His name was Syd Barrett, and if you don't know who that is, well, that's by design. But make no mistake, in the beginning, Syd was Pink Floyd. An insane poetic genius, a guitar innovator, and a leader of the underground London psychedelic scene. In 1967, Pink Floyd released their debut album, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn. Nearly every single song was written or heavily influenced by Syd. He didn't just play music, he created sonic hallucinations, dissonant chords, feedback loops. He bent sound the way that Salvador Dali bent clocks, and he had charisma, the kind that made people stop and stare. But something was slowly falling apart. Syd was using LSD almost daily. And add to that something deeper, possibly undiagnosed schizophrenia. Syd started to visibly slip. On stage, he would just stop mid-song, just zone out, detune his guitar, and play the same chord for 10 minutes. Sometimes he wouldn't play at all and he would just stare blankly into the lights. His bandmates tried to help him by bringing in an old friend, David Gilmour, to support him, but it became clear that Syd was not coming back. So they did the only thing they could. They stopped picking him up for rehearsals and shows. No dramatic firing, no public statement. Syd was out. Gilmour was in. Pink Floyd would go on to make music history, completely without the man who started it. Syd did try a solo career. He released 2 albums, but the spark was gone, and it had been for a long time. By the early 1970s, he had left music completely, moved back to Cambridge and moved in with his mother. He painted, he gardened, he completely disappeared until one day in 1975 at Abbey Road Studios. Pink Floyd was recording Wish You Were Here, a concept album about absence, disillusionment, and mostly about Syd. They were literally recording Shine On You Crazy Diamond, a tribute to him, when a bald, overweight man walked into the studio. Eyebrows shaved, plastic bag full of toiletries in one hand. No one recognized him at all. One of the engineers whispered, "Who's that guy sitting over there in the corner?" Then the realization hit them all. It was Syd Barrett. Roger Waters started to cry. David Gilmour was speechless. Syd sat silently as the song played, a song about him. He listened and quietly said, "Sounds a bit old." Then he got up and walked out, and no one ever saw him again. He never came to another show, never gave interviews. He refused all royalties from Pink Floyd's later successes. When he died in 2006, the band called him the guiding light of the early band. Syd Barrett wasn't just a founding member, he was the soul of Pink Floyd, the spark behind their most iconic work. And his shadow became the fuel for their deepest, most emotional music. Wish You Were Here wasn't just an album, it was a love letter to a friend lost in time. Syd didn't just leave the band, he became their ghost. Shine on, you crazy diamond.